Storytelling is an age-old practice that has been used to connect people across cultures and time. It's no wonder that it has become an essential tool for businesses to build their brands. In today's world, customers don't just want to buy products, they want to connect with brands that share their values and beliefs. An interesting and compelling brand narrative can help you achieve that. We've previously talked about creating your brand story, where we discussed your USP, strengths and weaknesses, and your values. If you haven't seen it yet, you can watch that video here. This video was mostly based on the inner workings of the company and not directed at the customers. So let's dive into that a little deeper and see how we can create a narrative from your brand story that your audience can connect with. Understanding your audience. Your audience is the foundation of creating a compelling brand narrative. To effectively connect with your customers, you need to know who they are and what their motivations might be. By getting to grips with their needs, desires and aspirations, you can create a connection that resonates with them even after purchasing your product. You can start with doing some market research to gather information about age, gender, location and income. If you have a good following on Instagram, you can quite easily check your analytics and see this information. It's similar on other platforms too. You can also look a bit deeper into people's behaviours to gain insight on how they spend their money and time and what their values and beliefs are. Once you have gathered this information, you can build your customer avatars, which are fictional representations of your ideal customers. Having an avatar will allow you to easily check if your brand narrative fits your audience, if it speaks to or interests them. It's something you can constantly refer back to and is useful in multiple areas of your business, not just your brand narrative. We use customer avatars regularly to make tailored ad campaigns. The more you know about your ideal customer, the better. Maybe they're into paddleboarding, antique shopping or cooking. You can use all of these things to expand your brand narrative and connect with your audience in different ways, while still staying true to your brand story and values. It's important to mention that understanding your audience is an ongoing process. As your business grows and evolves, so will your customers' needs and desires. So you need to update your customer avatar frequently to ensure that your brand narrative remains relevant. Be authentic and genuine. Authenticity is key in creating your brand's narrative. Customers are pretty savvy nowadays and can easily tell when a story is phony or insincere. To create an authentic brand narrative, you need to understand your values and communicate them in a genuine way. You can refer back to our previous video for this. The narrative should reflect the people behind your brand and what they stand for. This will help build trust with your audience. Be as truthful and transparent as you can be. Avoid using gimmicks, manipulation tactics, or hard sells that may damage your brand's reputation. A good example of this could be that you share how your company got started and why. Or perhaps you can include more personal stories written by the brand founders. Highlight your team and show what you're up to. It helps to humanise your brand and make it more relatable to your customers. It creates a sense of connection. Another way to be more authentic is to actually involve your customers. When people feel like they are part of your brand, they are more likely to feel a sense of ownership and loyalty towards you. Just remember that authenticity is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing commitment. Your brand narrative should reflect your brand's values and actions consistently over time. If what you say and what you do doesn't line up, your customers will spot it and it could hurt your brand in the long run. Use visuals to reinforce your brand narrative. Graphics and photos are an essential part of brand narrative. The right visuals can help reinforce not only your brand's identity, but also works to create an emotional connection with your audience. Your visuals should be high quality, relevant and consistent with your message and values. And of course, capture your audience's attention. Visual elements are important because they can communicate information and emotions very quickly. They also help to build recognition and association with your brand. Think of logos and branded social media posts, for example, or maybe you use infographics or recurring illustrations across all platforms. They can also be used to easily highlight the benefits of your product or service and demonstrate how it solves your customers' problems. If you've watched our video on colour theory, you'll know that your brand colours have a significant impact on how your audience perceives your brand. They play an important role in conveying your brand values and narrative and can be used to connect with your audience on an emotional level. In another previous video about how to create your brand story, we mentioned the importance of having a clear and consistent message. It should be easy to understand and communicate, and it should be consistent across all of your marketing channels. Now that you have an understanding of your audience and a way to connect with them, you can ensure your narrative stays consistent by creating brand guidelines that specify how your brand should be represented visually and verbally. This can include guidelines for your logo, the colours you use, typography and imagery, but also your brand's voice and messaging do's and don'ts. Having a consistent message will help you 1. Build trust and credibility. As your brand becomes more recognisable and trustworthy, your customers are more likely to engage with you. 2. Establish brand identity. A consistent message makes it easier for customers to understand what you stand for and what you offer. 3. Increase brand recognition. It will make it easier for customers to remember your brand when making a decision about a purchase. 4. Stand out. A consistent message helps differentiate your brand from your competitors. 5. Improving marketing effectiveness. Because a consistent message ensures all messages are working together towards a common goal. Phew! Hopefully this video has given you some inspiration on how you can expand your brand story to connect with your audience. It takes time, effort and creativity to create a strong narrative that resonates with your customers. But with these tips, you should be able to create a well-rounded brand narrative that will make you stand out from your competition. Just remember to gain an in-depth understanding of your audience so you can make sure your brand values connect with them. Be authentic, as this will humanise your brand. Use visuals to reinforce your message and connect with your audience on an emotional level. Focus on having a consistent message across the board. If you like what you've seen here today, then leave us a comment below and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you join our newsletter as well for free marketing tips and advice. That's it from us today. See you soon. Bye.